Welcome at Lehmannaudio. This video is about our Black Cube SE2 phono preamplifier. The Black Cube SE2 has been our best-selling phono stage for years already and is available with either a black, a silver or a chrome-plated faceplate. The Black Cube SE2 is characterized by a very low noise amplification. This means you hear music and nothing else. And we also have a very high adaptability to practically all available cartridges on the planet. This is achieved by 4 different gain settings, starting from 36 dB for very high output cartridges up to 66 dB, which is suitable for very low noise output MC cartridges. We also have a very high flexibility because gain and impedance load can be adjusted independent from each other. We have a very good channel matching due to very narrow parts specification, and this results in a very stable stereo image. A perfect channel separation is achieved by a dual mono board layout. It is practically impossible to overdrive the Black Cube SE2 because we have a very high overload margin. Up to 9 volts RMS can be delivered to the outputs. First and foremost, the Black Cube SE2 features a very powerful and lively sound reproduction. The PWX power supply is a huge factor to achieve that. The audio section can be placed unobtrusively close to the either turntable or within the hi-fi rack itself. 16 possible bass filter settings gradually shift the lower corner frequency of the Black Cube SE2 from 7 Hz up to roughly 90 Hz to solve bass problems if there are any. The production of all our products takes place in Germany, and of course every single product will be tested on our Audio Precision APX measurement computer before shipping. The Black Cube SE2 has not only received many reviews worldwide, but a huge number of awards, which we are very proud of. But even more important to us is the growing number of many thousands of satisfied customers who enjoy their LPs with our Black Cube SE2. This is what our Black Cube SE2 looks like when you receive it from a specialist retailer. In the packaging you will find the audio section, the PWX power supply unit, the mains cable, the operating instructions in 5 languages, the device brochure and further information, and the warranty registration with an envelope if you wish to register the device by post. You can also register conveniently online on the Lehmannaudio website. Also included is a small bag with jumpers and an Allen key. We'll come to that later. Unlike the smaller devices in the Black Cube series, all connectors are placed at the rear side, both the inputs and outputs, and of course the ground connector. In case you have a turntable with a separate ground wire, you can connect it there to avoid any kind of hum. All configuration options are accessible via 3 dip switches per channel underneath the unit. If all 4 switches of switch group A are in the off position, then the gain is which means 46 dB, and the impedance load is 47K. This is suitable for practically all cartridges. In case you have an extremely high output cartridge, you can deactivate the high gain switch on the group B of the dip switches. The high gain switch is achieved with switch number 1 at the switches B. The most common settings on the Black Cube SE2 are achieved very easily. For example, for cartridges, you can just use the unit out of the box as it is. However, there's also the expert mode for MC cartridges, and for this you should definitely take a closer look to the unit's instruction manual. If the small white switches are on the bottom of the respective field, they are deactivated. They are activated by sliding them towards the on position. In addition to gains and impedances, you can adjust the lower corner frequency of the Black Cube SE2 to solve occurring problems in the bass range, maybe due to a placement of the speakers too close to the wall, or for example if you have many warp records and so on. Ideally, These switches should remain in the off position, and none of those settings results in a corner frequency above 90 Hz. This means if you have, for example, very small shelf speakers, you would most probably not hear any sonic results if you fiddle around with the filter settings. Fixed MC loads are 1 kilo ohm and 100 ohms, and of course 47K if you do not activate any of those impedance switches. But then there's also a special load slot to accommodate special values in case your MC cartridge requires this. For this you do not need to solder anything. You can just use a standard 1/4 watt metal film resistor and plug it in. There's also a so-called hardwire slot to directly activate something you plug in there without having to fiddle with any kind of switch. This can be used, for example, for additional capacitors for MC loading. If you want to plug in any kind of special impedance, you need to unscrew the top cover of the Blackcube SE2 with the Allen key that I mentioned before. If you want to bridge the output capacitors, you can do this by using the jumpers that are supplied with the unit. And for this you also have to unscrew the top cover, but please be aware of the fact that there might be a small DC offset present at the outputs. So please do not use this option if you're not certain if your following preamplifier has any kind of DC input filter. Now you know our Blackcube SE2. This is an absolute classic among our range of phono stages, and it is not without reason that this product has become so popular and has won so many awards. If you want even more than that, a more dynamic and powerful sound, front panel control of the amplification and bass filter, a powerful, fully discrete output stage that can drive even very long cable runs, an even better power supply with the option to connect another audio section. Then go straight for our decade or even the decade jubilee phono section. Thank you for your attention, and now I wish you a good time enjoying your records.